So let me tell you a story of how much Impark sucks. Details to come. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I went down to the mailbox to check our tax return forms, or T4s. Anyways, I was looking for specific documents. And what did I find instead? To my surprise, was a final notice from Impark. Sometimes Impark likes to screw around with a lot of people. Now, in my case, they sent me a final notice. Now, here's the funny part. I ended up feeding the machine twice. 2 times. So, immediately, when I get this final notice in the mail, I'm just beside myself, or I'm just losing it, but laughing out hysterically. Like, I think my neighbor who was walking their dog was like, is he on crack? Why is he laughing out loud? Well, it's because Impark is a bunch of idiots. And just didn't want to deal with it just because it's like, this is it. I paid the meter twice, and knowing that I didn't want to deal with them the next day because they probably would have given me the ring around, probably would have got me to download some kind of document online, print it out, fill it out, what have you, just the whole ring around. I didn't want to deal with it. So the next day I actually just threw out my receipts and the actual printout that you get when you pay for your parking. Now, I was like, I paid for it twice. There's no way come back and try to, put this on me that I didn't pay for it. So I'm like, I'm good to go. Like I said, I paid it twice. What am I doing here? Nope, that's not the case. So a month later, because this day in question, or this one infraction happened, was in January. And so, or fast forward to late February, and I get a notice. And I'm like, great, you guys are trying to rip me off. Anyways, so I let the anger build up. So I just kind of take the final notice, put it off to the side, and I was like, I'm going to deal with it later. Who cares? Because I know I'm not in the wrong. So I call him up in the morning the very next day. And so the conversation goes as, hi, this is Impark. How may I help you? And I'm like, hi, so-and-so. I had a final notice, or have received a final notice, and I find this quite laughable. Anyways, I didn't give him a chance to kind of interject or get a word in, but I was like, you know what? This is my time. Even though it's not your fault, but as you are working for a bunch of twats, I am going to let you have it. I got a final notice from your company stating that I didn't pay, or for an unpaid parking ticket. And I said, first of all, the day in question, I did not receive a ticket violation or parking violation. So I find that very odd that I would be getting a final notice. Second of all, I paid that machine twice. Now, granted, the first time that I was throwing money into the machine, I was like $3, $4 shy of fully paying it off. Now, my car is literally 2 feet away from the machine. I quickly run to my car to grab the necessary amount to pay off the ticket. When I get there, my buddy Mitch is like, dude, this sucks. It just ate all your money. It went back to the first screen. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Like, that's f***ed. And so, sure enough, I get to the machine and it reset it back to the original screen that requires you to put in your stall number or your license plate. In any case, I'm like, are you f***ing kidding me? So I literally had to go to Shoppers Drug Mart, all the other stores around there, just to break a 20. And of course, being in dire need to get change, everyone's like, no, you need to buy something, or sorry, no, you look like you're homeless, or sorry, no, we're just assholes, we're not going to give it to you. So I ended up just having to find someone who happened to have a lot of change. And bless her soul, she had like $100 worth of change. And she's like, "Oh, you need change? How much do you need?" I was like, "To break a 20." She's like, "Here you go. There's two need. Here it is, and $20 worth." I was like, Jesus. Odd, but thank you. Go back to the stall, which is like 3 floors up, and pay off the parking stall for a second time. Pretty much a second time. And I was like, you know what, we're good to go. And no, I was like, why would you guys send me a parking notice or notice? The guy's like, "Oh, can I put you on hold, please?" I'm like, sure. But really inside, I'm like, you deal with this now. And at this point, I'm like waiting on the other line here. And the guy finally comes back. He's like, "Thanks for holding. I appreciate your patience." And I'm like, just get on with it. What's the verdict? He's like, "Well, we just gone on and just voided that." I'm like, okay. So you're telling me you took that off your record and it was your mistake and you're not going to forward this to collections? Because I find that, again, laughable that you do that when you don't even send me a ticket or write me a ticket for that initial infraction. He's like, yeah, no, we totally understand. You're very frustrated. Just, we realize it's our fault. I'm like, you realize it's your fault, or because I'm making a stink about it? That and he's like, yeah, no. It's like essentially the guy on Impark's side is pretty much like, yeah, no, it clearly we owe you money, so we tried to gouge you even more, but you're upset, so we're gonna try to minimize your frustration. That we're just gonna avoid it. But really, we still made money out of you because you paid it twice. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Dealt with that, and I recorded the guy who I spoke to. I don't even know what his name is, but I wrote down the time I did it and all that jazz, because I'm like, oh, and who am I talking to? And okay, so I'm going to have this down on my record on this stupid final notice, so just in case it comes to nip me in the ass again, I'll be like, no, your douchebag employee said he voided it, and that we're all good. So now you're telling me that now it's already... Yeah, anyways. That feels good to get that off my chest. I know if it was efficiently resolved. The customer service was great. They avoided the parking violation or the final notice from their system. But still, I felt like I had to share it with you guys because I feel that there are others out there who were in the same situation and just didn't know how to approach it and probably had to pay it or fight it and then lost, or I don't know. But at the end of the day, stick to your guns, especially when you know especially if you know they're in the wrong and you did everything in your power to, actually pay for it, but they still want to try to gouge you. If you have the proof, great, because you could throw it back in their face. But I shall now take down or put this TV back in its original packaging so then I can return it tomorrow. I just wanted to share with you, and I didn't know this story would take forever. But yeah, probably in the title I should just say Impark sucks, and then probably get a lot of hits because people in Vancouver or the greater Vancouver area are like, yeah, hey, it's a new video, let's see what this dude has to say about Impark. But TV box, see ya.